back with Conversations Live, speaking with actor and writer Philip Galinsky. He's sharing with us a lot of great information about his journey in the arts and how he's been able to step out from the pack, as it were, and to be able to build his own brand. And one of the ways that he's doing that today is through his one-man stage play, Facebook Comes Alive. Now, the title is catchy, Philip. Of course, it deals with, in the title, one of the biggest sites, I think, in social networking opportunities of all time, at least up until this point, and that being Facebook. How did this come about for you?
It came about, well, from being the youngest of 5 boys, and the fact that I have 8 nieces and nephews, and that photos and videos of me from my childhood to all the way up to now were posted and being tagged and all these things. And I would have my friends in my Facebook community being like, could you explain this picture? Oh my God, what's going on here? And so I realized that by projecting my Facebook Live in a theater space and going through the pictures and videos, I had probably one of the most clear revelations of my childhood up to my adulthood in a human visual diary that the entire World Wide Web could see. And as a stage play, it showed me a lot of how I grew up and the choices I made and where I went and all these different things through what Facebook is, which is, to me, is basically everybody's social diary.
Right. How has it been for you? I'm always curious about this because I consider myself coming to social networking a little late. I didn't actually get started on Facebook really heavy into 2009. Twitter about the same time, but I do find it to be an invaluable way of being able to reach people and connect with individuals that I may not ever have connected with any other way. Have you felt that way about Facebook, and how has it helped you in building up your brand, as it were, as you continue to do new projects and now to be able to promote yourself in this new work with Facebook Comes Alive?
I think it is like in this day and age, it's social media and it's social sharing is kind of where my brain space is. And what I mean by social sharing is that I come in line with other people that are other artists and have other missions. There's a great website called Daily Food and Wine where they talk about, what to eat, how to cook, just simple things, this and that. And they are going to have a Facebook fun hour before the show where Daily Food and Wine will provide beverages and snacks and stuff, and people can it's communal, they come around, they talk about it, they can look at each other's Facebook page, they can post different recipes, so it's kind of bringing people together in different forms, different art forms, which is really cool, and then we get into the one man's journey through his Facebook life, which is mine, and the goal of the show is obviously to get a run and really do it up, kind of like a Lake Wazamo Ghetto Clown, something like that. But I also think that there's a formula here for other people that have interesting Facebooks to have their own show somewhere and talk about what they're posting and why they're posting it.
Yeah. I have always said, and some people have agreed with me, others may not so much, but I feel as though the internet has really leveled the playing field for individuals when it comes to the arts, especially writers, musicians, and even comedians. We've had actors on this program before and writers, and I feel like, they are able to reach some of the same audiences as the big guys and to let their work be known, at least online, just like anybody else. Do you think for you the internet has done that in your case? Do you see yourself reaching this point that you're at now if it had not been for the internet and your own determination to get your work out there?
Yeah, I definitely believe that there's a skill to maximizing your artistic potential on the internet. I mean, I don't subscribe to the theory if you throw enough spaghetti on the wall on the internet, it'll stick, because there's validation with the numbers on YouTube and how many friends you have on Facebook, whether your message is getting out there loud and clear. Now, the thing is that in the old days, if you thought of it as a big funnel, there's a bunch of people on the outer rim trying to get down into the tiny part of the funnel. And now if you're on the outer rim and you have a message, that reaches a bunch of people, you'll get to the bottom of the funnel quicker.
Do you feel any certain responsibility as you are out there being a part of the world in different mediums? How important is it for you to stay true to who Philip Galinsky is as you continue to build that brand and also to get in front of more eyeballs?
I've been asked this question a lot, and through the course of the show and how it's progressed, I really feel like the history of me and the documentation of me as it's been put up on Facebook can show a direct parallel of what was acceptable back then that's not acceptable now, which also means that things could change and things are very fluid. I put up a picture, I didn't, but there's a picture of me and my two closest brothers in age naked in a bubble bath. Now, nowadays, the parents could be potentially thrown in jail. I mean, like, there's so many things that have changed since that picture was taken, and that picture was taken as a genuine, cute kids in a bathtub. So
right.
It's a really interesting paradigm to kind of figure out, I never thought that was controversial, except the fact that it is controversial to a certain group of people as we move forward in time. But I also want to bring people back in time and say maybe we were more progressive back then. I don't understand how sometimes it gets narrow and other times it's acceptable. You know what I mean? I know for a fact, like if I was talking to any of my friends growing up, we used to get whooped. I mean, we used to get spanked, like hit in the bottom. And nowadays, even if you raised your voice, it's almost like, it's a lawsuit against the parents. So it's such an interesting touch point. Like I use it as a touch point in a way to start a conversation in a debate, a healthy debate, not an argument, but a debate about, certain people were raised a certain way, and they turned out this way. That doesn't mean they're wrong, doesn't mean they're right, it's just the way it was. And with Facebook, I find that when I do the live show, the younger audiences love it because they weren't raised that way, and they can't believe it. Like, I used to wet the bed, and the day before my school pictures, my dad brought this thing home because the doctor had told him that I was a heavy sleeper. And so what I came home to was a metal sheet that had like jumper cables attached to a car battery. And he turned the thing on and the lights in the house dimmed. And basically he said to me, your brain doesn't know what your body's doing. So when you go to bed tonight and you start to pee, it's going to shock you and wake you up. So the night before school pictures, I did not sleep at all. And the next day, I had huge raccoon eyes. And that picture is on Facebook, and everybody wants to know that story. They're like, oh my God, were you beaten as a child? No, I said, no. I just got, shocked. That's, typical growing up. But it's stuff that people can understand or draw a parallel to, and also realize that no matter how you're raised, at some point, there is a level in everybody's consciousness of common sense. And the intriguing thing about Facebook is that a picture can make you draw conclusions to your own common sense that might not be even why the picture was posted.
Right.
And that's an interesting concept because at the end of the show, I open it up to a Q&A of like, what are your Facebook pet peeves? I then do Facebook Comes Alive trivia, where I bring a person on stage and they can't see their Facebook, and then I ask them trivia about them and I because they're obviously friends of mine on Facebook, and if they get the answers right, they get prizes and stuff like that. Like, if I said, oh, hey, Cyrus, come on stage, and then I'd say, all right, Cyrus, if you answer this question, how many mutual friends do we have? We will give you a bottle of champagne. And so the audience can see it because it's projected, but you can't.
Right.
And if you get it right, you know what? You win a prize.
Well, Philip, I think what you just said a moment ago really kind of highlights this whole discussion that we've had, and that is being able to start a conversation based on this. So people are not only being entertained, but they also are able to kind of give some thought to what they're saying and to how they relate it to, how things are today, which seems interesting because, you're only 40, so, it's hard to believe things have changed. that much in such a short period of time. But you're exactly right. There's so many things that, that were considered usual and normal at that point that are not so today. But it's also, I think, fun to be able to look back and to have a little laugh at yourself and where you come from, and also where we're going thanks to situations like Facebook. Again, the name of the play is...
I have one quick story for you that will say where we're going, because there's certain times when you have an interaction with someone and then they'll post a picture to your Facebook to kind of remind you of that moment. Mm-hmm. So I took my nephew out to dinner, and he's 8 years old, and he puts on my Facebook page, he posts a picture of a sink, and this story will kind of tell you kind of where we're going in the future. So I take him out to dinner, and I'm like, look, we got to wash our hands. We can't, we got to go there in the restroom, wash our hands. We cannot just eat. So we get into the restroom. He starts jamming his hands under the sink, and nothing's happening. He's putting it right under the nozzle, and nothing's happening. He's like, Uncle Philip, this sink is broken. And I just turn the faucets on. And I was like, you don't even know that faucets work? I mean, this is how far we've gone, where everything is automated.
Right. Exactly.
So after that, when I told him the story about how I had to turn the faucets on, just like I had to walk up and turn a television on and change channels, and after that night, we had a great moment. And that night, he said, thank you for dinner, and he posted up a picture of a sink.
Wow. Well,
and then he also posted up another one. He posted up one more. He posted up a picture of cursive writing, because they're not teaching cursive anymore. They're getting rid of it so that the kids at 8 years old can learn how to type. So any card he gets from his grandmother, I have to translate.
Those were the days, huh?
Right?
Those were the days.
Unbelievable.
It is amazing. And Philip, thank you so much for sharing. Again, the name of the play is Facebook Comes Alive, Philip Galinsky's one-man stage play. Philip, how can our listeners find out more information about you online?
The easiest way to do it is just become my friend on Facebook, Philip Galinsky, PhilipGalinsky. Now, I would give you my MySpace page or my Twitter page, but because the show's about Facebook, contractually, that's the only way you can get me. I'm just kidding. Just go to Facebook. It's easy. It's easy.
Again, that's Philip Galinsky. You can find him there on Facebook, and of course, as I said, the name of the play is called Facebook Comes Alive. Philip, thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it. We're going to take a very quick break here. When we come back, we have